Hello, and welcome to Marketing Storytime with Momo. And today I am so excited to have this amazing entrepreneur with me. I call her friend. I call her sister. Her name is Kozy, but from time to time you might hear me call her Ori. Don't get confused. She's the same person. And I'll allow her to introduce herself. So, Cozy, welcome to Marketing Storytime with Momo. But before we start, I always tell my people grab a cup of water, grab a cup of tea, or grab a cup of coffee. Let's sit down and have this chit chat. It's going to be an interesting one because Ori is very versed in entrepreneurship and she's going to tell us all her tricks, her ins and her outs, and we're going to have this interesting conversations. Um, if you're not subscribed yet, please do well and subscribe. If this is your first time, thank you for stopping by. And if you're a returning viewer, I'm so happy that you've come back here. I find it a privilege that you're back here. So before I go on and on and on, I'm going to allow this our gorgeous entrepreneur to introduce herself. So, oh, Cozy, over to you.
It's a pleasure. It's an honor to be talking to you and chatting with you about entrepreneurship. And mommy and I come way, te. We
Long time
come from
ago.
Oma Shoes days to Lekki days
That
to
is so true.
yes to
You did
some of
start
my
a
kids
shoe
have gone
business.
Atlanta days and all of that. So we go
Yes,
way back. So I'm so excited to be
yes,
on here
yes.
talking to you. My name is Kozy. Like Momi says, some people know me as Ori, some people know me as Ori Misa, and then former people knows me as Kausarat. I went to Howard University, graduated electrical engineering, master's degree in technology management. Um, I've been a project manager for 10, 15 years, I think. And now I sell food and I built an app. So that pretty much covers it.
Okay, so I'm so glad you said that. And that's one of the reasons I actually wanted us to have this chit chat,
Mhm.
because you went from being an engineer to project management and now to selling food and then building an app. So I want to pick your brain, like for people out there, our viewers, to understand, like, how did you come about, And okay, before we go further, I want to say, she said something from her shoe days. So Ori used to have a shoe company. She used to make her shoes from scratch, like legit make them.
Mhm.
So she's an entrepreneur I always say by blood,
Yeah,
like it's in her blood.
yeah.
So I just, I want to know, like, how did you get into, being an entrepreneur? What intrigued you about being an entrepreneur? And what advice do you have for people out there that want to be an entrepreneur?
So for me, entrepreneurship is
Yes.
in my DNA. My
Okay.
dad, entrepreneur, my mom, entrepreneur, my granddad on my dad's side, entrepreneur, my grandmom, entrepreneur. And fun fact about my grandmom on my dad's side, she was the first Cadbury distributor in Ondo State.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Mhm. Very limited education. I think she stopped at equivalent of primary five or primary four.
Primary, yeah.
But I'm gonna
That
tell
was
you
how they did
this.
back in the days.
Yes. But I'm gonna tell you this that she knew how to communicate her numbers. She knew about her money. And I remember my dad would always make jokes that white folks will come and try to talk. She just knew her money and she knew this is how much I draw. I always imagine how much of a juggernaut her business would be today if she had a master's degree or
Right.
if she was able to move forward and just attain all those certifications and just sit with the big dogs. I always
Right.
envision it and just so not to digress, her story always inspires me, but entrepreneurship is in my blood. Like, I know, I've always known that I'm going to be an entrepreneur. I'm going to have my own business.
Right.
So it's not something I stumbled on. It's just something that's a jeluru.
For those that don't understand that, it means
It's
blood is
innate.
smelling.
Yes.
It's inbuilt. It's
Yes.
inbuilt. It's in the
Yes.
family blood. You
Yes.
know, it's a bloodline thing. That's what she means.
Yes.
So that's interesting. And I'm glad you said that. I also come from a family of entrepreneurs. So I understand, I totally understand what you're saying. My grandmother was a huge, huge, huge entrepreneur. I remember she told me a story a while ago, a long time ago. She said, you know, she used to go to England on the ship to buy products to come and sell in Nigeria. You know, I was like, oh my God. So you actually got on a ship to go to England? She said, yes. So I understand what you're saying. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my mom too is, you know, my mom was this hustler that I always admired my mom, big time hustler, you know,
Mm.
since I was young, since I've known my mom to be my mom, that's all I've known her to do. So
Okay.
I think in my head, I just knew that at some point, you know, I'll have to collect the
Follow
baton and
sister.
keep the race, yeah, keep the race going. So thank you for that intro.
Mm.
So we've talked about the shoe business. Now I want to move to, I know you were in Nigeria for some time and
Mm-hmm.
then you moved back to the US. You're
Mm-hmm.
based in the DMV area. For people that don't know what DMV is, DC, Maryland, Virginia area.
Mm-hmm.
And when you got back there, I honestly thought you were going to look for a job. And then the next thing I know is my friend started a shawarma business. And then the next thing I knew is she started an app, you know, and I'm like, okay, what's going on over here? So can you give us a little bit of, you know, story behind those two businesses?
So, Loud Shawarma started
Yeah.
during COVID,
I'm
actually.
sorry to interrupt you. And what brought about the name? Because I'm just wondering loud, you
So,
know.
Loud, it's it's a play on when your first bite. Most times
Okay.
when people but like their first bite is like, oh my God, they have that oh my God response. And for me, it's
Okay.
almost like they're tasting colors and it's loud.
Okay.
So LOUD
Okay.
is taken, and it's a play on words, and I just did LAUD. So it's literally just
Okay.
about your first bite, your first taste, the reaction
Okay.
to it. And so that's where that name came from. Now,
Okay.
now, name for now, now came about, in Niger, when you want something, you lay emphasis like tete or kia
Yeah,
kia
you say
or
you're right. So
yeah,
now. Okay, I
yeah.
see that.
So that's where that name came. Like, I need help now, now. But
Okay.
NOW, I think was taken or it just looked weird. So I went with now, now,
Okay.
NAUS. That's where the names for both businesses came from.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
what was I
All
saying?
right. You were talking about how, you know,
Oh,
you came
okay.
up with the
So
names and, you
the
know,
name.
how
So
you
that covers for the names. So for the actual business is Loud. I remember when I was coming in, I think it was March, sharp right before COVID. My sister was like, "Oh, can you please?" No, it wasn't March, a little earlier. She's like, "Oh, there's a shawarma spot in Murphy's Plaza that we love that shawarma. It's like the
right.
best." So she's like, "Oh, please, when you're coming, can you just freeze it and put it in your bag?" I mean, I don't like TSA drama of any kind. I don't want them to ask me if I have pens to save that people can chew on in my bag. So I said, no, I'll figure out the recipe. That conversation was short because she's like, you can't figure out that recipe. You don't cook shawarma, blah, blah, blah. So I took that as a challenge. Like, I will figure out that recipe and I will make it. So when I got in, I figured it out. I made it. She loved it. She's like, oh my God, this is and my sister is a foodie. Like, my sister can eat any food, Niger food anyways, and tell you the ingredients. Like, oh, does this have this?
Right.
So she loved it. So I was like, okay. I made more. I invited a couple of friends over. They loved it. I'm like, okay. And then I sold it, and people actually paid money for it and came back. So I'm like, all
Oh
right.
wow.
And you already know, mommy, anything, I find business opportunity inside. So as soon as I
Yes.
saw that, I was like, all right, let me try. And, 5 years later, here we are for
Wow.
Loud. For now it's a bit deeper than Loud because it's more safety.
Right.
It's around
Right.
safety, right? I was on Twitter and I was reading about this family that traveled from Accra to Benin, I think, and on their way,
Okay.
um, uniformed armed men pulled them over, pretending to be cops. Apparently, they were kidnappers. They got kidnapped, and the family in Benin didn't know where they were. The family in Accra didn't know where they were. Nobody could say precisely this is where they reached, right? And I remember
Right.
me too when I used to travel from Lagos to Accra when I lived in Nigeria. Between that Lagos to Accra, 8 people will stop us. 8 different uniform, pink, yellow, brown,
Right.
red, black. They will stop you for the same things. And I remember that feeling of I was always so anxious, like, what now? What's gonna happen? So, and
Right.
fortunately, I didn't get kidnapped, thank God, but they did. Now, at that moment, I remember thinking, what if they had an app on their phone that they can tap really quickly before their phones get confiscated, before anything, that would send their current
The signal.
location. All For the most part, people need their current locations to know, okay, this is the area where they were when they sent the message, so they can start searching. And at that
Right.
point is where I started to work on the idea of Now and
Okay.
continue to build on it. I had a couple of developers, we talked about it, and it just, the idea is
Evolve from
today.
there.
Yeah, it evolved to Now today.
Okay, that's good.
Mhm.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
I
thank you.
think it's always when you're trying to solve a problem,
Hmm.
the business makes more sense,
Hmm.
at least in my mind.
Yeah, that's
So,
true.
yeah, so well done.
Thank
And
you.
thank you for putting that because I think it's something that we actually need
Hmm.
now.
Hmm. All pun intended.
No pun intended, exactly. Okay, so that being said, starting two businesses or managing, let me not say starting,
Mhm,
managing two businesses, how do you get your brand names out there? So I have like two or three businesses I also manage,
mhm,
and I know juggling between them can be a bit, cumbersome. So
mhm.
how are you able to manage between them in terms of marketing, branding? How do you differentiate that and how do you put yourself out there?
So I'm gonna latch on to one of your sessions, and this is not. It's not because it's you. It's just it stayed on my mind. You said
Okay.
marketing is how you communicate your message. Branding
Right.
is how it stays on people's minds, right?
Yes.
So for both businesses, I have done my best to be consistent in the
Okay.
message I'm sending. For my
Okay.
shawarma, I've sent my consistent message in my shawarma is Niger taste, Niger style.
Right.
So when you eat it, you expect 9 out of 10 times for Nigerians, they always tell me, "Oh my god, it tastes like."
Okay.
And then so there's that aspect of consistency for both businesses. There is I'm deliberate with how I want you to remember those messages.
Okay.
So
Okay.
with Loud, it's the presentation. It's the
Right.
it's how I make my customers feel. It's
Right.
how they feel after. It's consistency, it's quality. For
Right.
now, I've kept it very simple. You you're either in danger and you tap SOS, or you're not in danger and you need your trusted contacts to follow you, and you tap follow me. So I've kept it simple. The
Okay.
message across for now is simple to use. I wish I can use Geico, so any caveman can do it, but I can't because then I'm gonna get sued. But
Right.
for both businesses, consistency has been, the language across, quality
Right.
and ease of accessibility.
Okay.
Mhm,
I always say to my clients, to everyone that cares to listen, that the
mhm,
number one, and I think I did a topic on that as well, consistency, you
mhm.
can never outpace consistency.
I
Like
agree.
consistency is the bread and butter for any business.
I agree.
Um, Sometimes it takes, for lack of a better word, a lifetime for people to know the business.
Mhm,
But if you're consistent, you
mhm,
will get to that point where you need to get to, right?
mhm.
So you're saying, if I understand you clearly, that you've been very consistent
I
with
have.
the message you're putting out
Mhm.
there.
My
So what would you say?
message and
Mhm. Go ahead,
the
please.
quality of my, let's talk Loud Shawarma now. I pride myself in my customers um uh, uh trusting that the same shawarma they got yesterday is what they're going to get today.
Okay.
It's crazy. Sometimes my employees think, I had one particular employee that actually said, "Oh, like, my, you're doing too much." He said, and I laughed, and I said, "No, I want a situation where if my customer that's been coming for years gets shawarma tomorrow and says it tastes one kind, I want to say it's you that did it, not me." So
Right.
it's for other people, it feels like, you could just put ketchup anyhow. No, put my ketchup the way I want it, line the cabbage the way I want it, because I want to be able to defend my product if my customer says, "Oh, it
Right.
doesn't taste the same." No, no, it is the same. So,
Right.
for me, that consistent quality that I deliver is my pride.
Yeah. You also mentioned trust. And I think trust is very important,
Mhm,
especially in this day,
mhm.
in this day and age we're in. People, when they trust you, then they buy more from you.
Yep. They
They
buy more,
can
they
go to,
refer people, they bring
yes,
people,
that's
they
it.
become your
And I always
ambassador.
tell That's it. And that's what I tell clients, like, listen, trust is one thing that you cannot buy.
Mm-mm.
You actually earn it.
Mhm,
So in order to earn it, you have to be consistent with what
mhm,
you're doing. So
mhm.
I think you have all the rights, you're on the
After
right.
so long, go immediate to ask 1 year by in 5 years. So trust me, I've made some
She said
costly
she's been
mistakes.
on it for 5 years. For those that don't understand what she's saying, she's like, she's been on this journey for five
five
years.
years,
So
yes.
after 5 years, I hope that consistency is working, that you're being
Yes,
consistent. So
yes.
I'm going to ask you, in terms of marketing, what has been your biggest challenge, excuse me, as an entrepreneur,
Mhm.
as someone that has two businesses? What has been your challenge? And well, let's start from there. What has been your challenge?
Funding. I think
Oh,
that for small but growing businesses, we underestimate the funding or the budget that goes into marketing.
right.
You think that,
Can I
you
hug
know,
you?
eh?
Can I hug you?
But I'm gonna tell you that I came to that realization maybe year 3. Because year 1 I was like, what do I need for, I can do it. I can handle this. I can, yeah, it's we underestimate it. And and I think it comes from the arrogance of, people love my product. Once mommy tastes my product, she's going to tell her dad, her mom, her sister, her uncle, her everybody, her niece, her nephew, and everybody must eat my product. So you're thinking, what do I need to put money to marketing for? But
Right,
the heartbreaking news is, it's not like that. It doesn't mean mommy doesn't like your food. It just means she liked it that time, she ate it, and she's moved on.
right.
And I tell my employees this, I tell my work, I tell people can buy what they don't know.
They can't.
So as a small business, we focus so much money on the developments of the app and the food and the store and the da 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 da, da, and then we forget that chunky part of marketing. And it's not like back in the day where the malls are open, as long as there's foot traffic, you're good. We are in an age where you
Right,
have to spend money to make money, literally. Um,
right.
and I think one of the challenges, and if I can speak for a lot of small businesses, like I said, funding, um, also assuming that once I post, people see it and they'll come, and the virality is there.
And they will
It doesn't.
patronize me.
So we tend to post with no strategy. And
Right,
when you do that, you're just posting for yourself and maybe your immediate team and maybe your friends. Maybe because sometimes they really
right.
get tired of your post. They're like, okay, I know you sell shawarma. Now what? But that, and again,
Oh
it's
Lord.
heartbreaking because you're like, oh my God, my friends. But how many shawarmas can your friends eat, to be honest? And if it's
So
our old friends that are counting calories, how many do they want to add to that? So honestly, I
hello.
think one of the challenge is funding and posting with no strategy. Those are two major challenges that I believe that small businesses face.
Right. I'm so happy you said that. I remember I went to meet a potential client a while back, a few months ago, and she started a bank.
Okay.
And I said, yeah, she started a bank, and it was a fantastic, brilliant idea of a bank,
Mhm.
and I had this glamorous idea,
Mhm.
but cost effective way of her putting it out there.
Mhm.
And when I got into the meeting, our session, we talked, we had a fantastic conversation. And at the end of it, she said, I'm not going to lie to you, Momo. I'm not going to use you. I'm just going to hire a
Somebody
Gen
to coach.
Z. Yeah, I'm just going to hire someone, a Gen Z person that's going to be posting every day. All she needs to do is just post. So I said, okay, that's fantastic. That's okay. That's what you want to do. That's your strategy. What would they post? Like, what's the strategy behind
It's a
the
plan.
posting?
Uh-huh.
What's the plan? And
Mhm.
she's like, oh, we don't need any plan. She'll just be posting about the bank every day. And so at that point, I was like, oh my goodness. I tried to convince her and I told her, I said, you're still going to reach out to me at some point because you're going to get into a fix because that's not a
Definitely.
strategy,
No, it's not.
you know. And so that's the challenge I know a lot of small businesses
Mhm.
face or
Mhm.
new startups.
And
They're like, we
sorry to
don't have
cut
the
you off.
marketing budget.
And sorry to cut you off. I don't I think of course now we're on topic of small businesses, but I think even the big guns experience that, but they have a department, have a budget for it. You know what I mean?
Right,
Small business are thinking, where can we shave money off? But
right.
I am going to speak to my fellow small business owner association. Marketing is not to be, don't shave it. If you have
Yes,
money, put the money to marketing because it's a ripple effect. When you get your
right.
marketing right, you will recover that money and more.
And
But
that's what I tell
yeah,
people. And
again,
I
year
don't
three,
think
I'm
they seem to
realizing that.
realize it. Yeah, they don't
Well, they have to
realize
live it
it.
to reality. They have to. They another sorry, another you. I'm a Yoruba girl. Any conlumo, it has to coin
Yeah,
for you to know it. Because
to know.
when
Yeah,
as a marketer, I mean as a marketing exec, when you tell people they're thinking you just want to sign contract, they don't get it. But like I
right,
told you, year three for both business, funny enough, both businesses started almost simultaneously the same year, 2020. So year three is where I'm realizing that I wish I had marketing funds, like just sitting there waiting so that when we
right.
launch, I can use it. Um,
One of the things, sorry to cut you off, one of the
mhm,
things I tell potential clients is, we can get creative, right?
mhm,
It's
mhm,
about getting the right people on your team,
mhm.
which is where Momo's marketing consulting comes in. And I tell them, I'm like, let's sit down and have a conversation. How much do you have?
Mhm.
What's your plan? What do you want to see?
But mommy,
Let's
you marketing people, billing you, go friendly you. It's not go small business friendly at all, at all, at
she's
all, at all,
saying
at
she's
all.
saying that we marketing agencies, our
Mm,
bills are
mm,
not
mm, mm,
friendly.
mm, mm.
However, I will say this, right? So it's about return on investment, right?
Yeah.
So I always say this, it's what you put in, you get out. So if
Mm-hmm.
you put in a dime, you're going to get a dime out.
Right.
If you put in $1 million, you're going to get a
Then you get,
million
yeah,
dollars,
yeah, I agree. I agree.
back out. So it's always return on investment. Um, I said to someone a few days ago, a client, I said, listen, if I had all the budget in the world, we will not be having this conversation because you love me,
Mm.
because I do the undo. Like I would give you heaven and earth and
Mm.
everything in between, right?
Yeah.
So money is always the challenge, right?
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
do understand that. And I go into every meeting with clients, potential clients, and let them know that I understand budget is a hard one,
Mm-hmm.
but I always start from what do you have?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a Christian, so I'm going to throw it back, to people. Like,
Mm-hmm.
God will say, "What's in your hand?
Mm-hmm.
What do you have in your hand? Let me use what you have in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
So, what do you have?
Mm-hmm.
Let's even start on that journey." I
Mm-hmm.
think a lot of people feel they need to have this huge
Amount of
marketing.
money. You really
Yeah.
don't, but you still have to have. So let me throw a question back at you. You
Okay.
don't know me. I see what you're doing. I see your videos. I'm like, oh my God, I want to link up with this lady. And I send you a message saying, I have two businesses. I'm doing this, da, 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 but I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I'm not getting customers. Da, da, da. What would you, honestly, Momi? Because let me tell you something. I have reached out to, I got, I was like,
Empty.
okay. how much did I used to start Loud and how much I used to start Now.
Okay.
But at the end
So,
of the day, when I think of, it's like somebody coming to me with a project management deal. I'm not
right.
going to give you a bill like I just started. So I kind of get
Mm.
it, but I just wanted to lay emphasis on the fact that some small businesses, let me speak for myself, it's not that I don't appreciate marketing, it's the bill that comes with it. We can't afford it. That's why we're
Right.
still considered small, but I would say small but growing business. But that's why we're still in that space where we are. We're trying to grow. So, what would somebody as seasoned as yourself in marketing and branding? And sorry, I know this is the question is supposed to be coming from your end, but what would
That's
somebody
okay.
with your experience, your background, what would you offer a small business like myself if I reach out to you and say, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, I just need help? What would you do? What would be
Okay.
the first thing you would do?
Okay, so now the interviewer is now the interviewee.
Yes.
Okay, so thank you for that question, actually. So, what I will do is
Mhm,
what I do with all my clients is
mhm,
we first do a deep dive into your organization. We say, okay, this is where your organization is at,
mhm,
this is where it needs to be, and
mhm.
this is how we need to get there.
How much would you
So,
charge for that?
yes, it varies. It varies. So I can't say there's a specific amount. It depends on your business. It depends on how much deep, like someone like you now that has two businesses, I'm going to charge you plenty.
See,
I'm
because
joking. I'm
no,
joking. I'm
no, no,
joking.
no.
Take a deep breath. Take a
But
deep breath.
I'm gonna tell you
Cozy.
that that's what I've experienced with some
No.
marketing company.
So with me, what I do is I do a deep dive, right?
Mhm,
I do a deep dive first of
mhm,
all and say, okay, this is where Loud is, this is where Now is,
mhm,
and this is where there are opportunities. And so for me, I always work from the space of opportunities
mhm.
and what I can guarantee. So
Okay.
if I do a deep dive and I say, okay, now can it has, oh my God, this has so much potential. Like the lady I said I went to talk to about the bank,
Mhm.
I knew she had so much potential. You
Yes, a
know,
bank.
I'm going to work with you according to that, hoping in the future, you're going to get your return on investment.
Mhm,
So it's about what I see on ground, right? And
mhm,
there's some businesses, there's a business that has reached out to me before. And when I did a deep dive, I just knew that their growth potential was, it was standing on one leg. So in situations like that, I'll be
mhm,
also honest with them. Like, listen, the growth potential is not as, you know, as is it's not a lot. Like,
mhm.
so this is what we need to do.
Okay.
Can you diversify? Can what are your what's your 5 year
Options.
plan? How do
Mhm,
you, yeah, yeah, let's look at the options because I also don't want someone to waste money on marketing and then they don't get any return on investment. At the end
mhm.
of the day, the long and short of every business is revenue. I
Yeah,
always say that. No
yeah,
matter who I can talk to, the first thing I always say is revenue.
yeah.
So if you're going to put money in, but I always start from the aspect of if I'm going to sit with Cozy, I'm going to ask Cozy, how much do you have? What's your budget? Okay, I only have $500.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe we can start with that $500 in terms
Okay.
of this is what you will get. In terms of that $500, you will
Mhm,
get, and we're in such a digital age now that
mhm,
we can do a lot digitally,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
Um, it's not far-fetched now,
mhm,
to reach everybody
mhm,
everywhere
mhm.
because digital is where everybody is at now. So I always work with the budget a client has. Like,
Mhm,
okay, so how much do you have? That's why I asked the question, what's in your hand?
mhm,
What do you have in your hand?
mhm.
So how much do you have? You have $500, you have $1,000, you have $1 million.
Amen. Shoot.
Hey, so
Amen.
I
No, from your
sit
mouth to
back.
God's ears. What?
Amen. So I look at it that way and I just look at every business as a potential business to grow. Coca-Cola, I always use Coca-Cola because
Yes,
I love
the
them. I
strategy.
love marketing strategy and everything. And they do not back down every year. They use a certain percentage of their revenue from the previous year for
Mhm.
their future
Mhm.
marketing budget every year. That's what
I
they
mean, that's
do.
how it should be done, but
And but that's their go-to-market strategy. It has worked for them, and that's all they do. So
Mhm.
they were very intentional about that. Now,
Mhm.
as a small business, you're probably looking at it like, no way, I've
No,
not,
no, no.
no, 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 no.
On the contrary, again, after year three is when I understood the importance of
Important.
marketing and branding.
Right,
Branding, I'm still on, but marketing, year three is where I had to take a step back. Like, okay, even though God willing, and I appreciate my community so much, and the quality of the food, it speaks for itself. It draws its own customers. So
right,
I always year three, I'm like, okay, we can double, triple, quadruple this, but it has to do with marketing. So
right.
I understand Coca-Cola's consistency. If I had the budget they had to, I would never look
But
any
they didn't
budget that
start with that budget
no,
though.
no, not that budget, but if I had how I started loud with $50 in my pocket. I
Right.
started now with my savings. I funny story, I tried to raise money one time and I was so confident that once I put it out there, I have friends that believe in
Everybody's gonna
me.
run.
Everybody's gonna give me money. Everybody's gonna be like, oh my God, Cozy, you're doing it. Shingba, I didn't raise. Shingba. So when I meet people that say family and friends, I'm like, better keep those friends because they have good pockets.
Mm,
Not my friends, but they ain't nothing I can do about it. You know,
mm,
so
mm.
I started with very, very, very limited funds, right?
Right,
But if I had, you know how you see a business, you get invested of $10,000, $50,000. I would tell any entrepreneur, new, old, seasoned, whatever budget you allocate to marketing, don't ever touch it. Like
right.
when people are thinking of how to shave money and remove money from like marketing and branding cannot be like leave it alone. It's not you shouldn't even look at it. So I
Yeah.
would if I had the funds and if I had the money and if I had that type of setup, yeah, definitely I would most certainly I would not I'm learning the very, very hard way that marketing and branding is very, very it's key
It's
to growth.
crucial.
Yes, it's very.
Yes, it's very crucial to any business
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you said something that, and you mentioned earlier, I have over 20 years working experience in
Mm-hmm.
marketing and branding. And all my years of experience, the first place every CFO cuts budget from when they're doing their yearly budget is always marketing
Marketing.
because they always feel you people are just there, just doing anything, And I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way.
Mm-hmm.
You actually, like I said earlier, is what you put in, you get out.
Mm-hmm.
So the companies that are very intentional about their marketing, you see the results. You
Yeah.
cannot argue with the
Yeah.
results,
Yep.
right? You
Yep.
see it no matter what you do, you see it.
Yep.
And the companies that are not intentional about their marketing, you also see the results,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
They struggle more. So I'm so happy you've come to this realization that
Mm-hmm.
it's very
Mm.
crucial. So let me ask you, this would be my final question for you because I know you're a very busy woman, is if today, if you had, what would be your marketing dream and your branding dream today for both businesses? Where would you want it to get to?
So I'm gonna answer as a new entrepreneur because I
Okay.
want any new entrepreneur that sees this to learn something from it. If somebody asked me that question 5 years ago when we started both businesses, I'll say I want now to be in
The number
all.
one app.
Yes, the only app that you go to when you find yourself in a situation, just grab the app and tap the whistle, and everybody knows about. That's where I want my marketing to cover. For Loud, my thoughts is a family in Canada is having a baby shower. Why is Loud not on their menu? Should be on their menu. You're in
Right.
Dubai and you want to eat shawarma. I forget their shawarma. Put my shawarma. That's my as a as a
Go.
new as a new um small business owner, as a new founder, there's that arrogance that your product should be across the globe. And therefore, whoever my marketer or my marketing strategy or my marketing plan should cover that. I'll give you a quick
Right.
story. We had a spot in Bellsville for during COVID,
Okay.
actually, for maybe about 6, 7 months or a year actually. And we were running ads. But instead of conquer 3 to 5 miles my radius, I took my ads to Virginia. I extended my ads to DC. I extended my ads because I'm thinking, why would somebody in Virginia not want to eat my shawarma? Why would somebody in Frederick not to eat my shawarma? But I'm gonna tell you this, that now my ads cover only 3 to 5 miles of my locations. So DC 3 to 5 miles, Clarksville 3 to 5 miles, and that's because, like I said earlier, I know I said in Yoruba, but what I was actually saying was you have to experience it to understand it. As a marketing
Right.
executive, it doesn't matter what you say. If your client doesn't experience it, the banker ladies or guy or whoever is still going to reach back out to you because they're going to experience that they just can't keep posting. Posting is not strategy. I could post,
Right.
anybody could post. But if it's not the right time, the content, the target audience, the
Right.
message, how you deliver it, you're not gonna get anything. She's gonna get frustrated, spend so much money that
Right.
she could have put together and give you, and then realize that, oh man. So my at that time when I was running those ads and covering all of those extended places, I barely got anything because now I'm
Right.
looking for people from Virginia to drive all the way down. Don't get me wrong. I have loyal customers that come from Frederick. I have some that come from Delaware, actually. They just make it a
Oh
drive on
wow.
Saturday, God willing. But it's not consistent.
Right. And
But
that's not gonna that's
and
not gonna
that's
pay
not,
the
no, it's not. But so that's the answer from a new entrepreneur. From a 5 year into the entrepreneurship deal consistently, what I will be looking for in my marketing executive, and if I have marketing funds now, is to conquer um
mm,
my immediate target audience, and
region.
yeah, my immediate
Right.
region, and to make sure that my message is consistent, to make sure that when you see orange with the eye, you know that's loud, and you
Okay.
understand that I tasted loud. I remember that taste. I want it.
Right.
That's what I'm
Right.
looking for. And for
Okay.
now, when you see that red button and the red whistle, you know that, okay, this is emergency. This is what that
Okay.
lady. This is what that company was. This is what it's talking about.
Right.
Conquering just my immediate
Good.
vicinity. Yeah. And if we
And
want to
it's
play the numbers
doable.
game, we're talking 300,000, 400,000 people, and
Right.
conquer that, and then you can conquer the world. But I didn't know that my
Right.
earlier time, and now I know it. So
Well, at least it's better late than never.
yeah, yeah,
And one of the things I'll say is there's nowhere you go to, you see a bottle of Coca-Cola or
yep,
you see the arch, the McDonald's ad,
yep.
and
You
you
know it's
know that
McDonald's.
it's McDonald's. I
Yeah.
know I was in Dubai, I think was it a year ago, 2 years ago with my mom, and I
Mm-hmm,
was quite hungry.
mm-hmm.
And I just saw that.
M,
I didn't need to see the name, I just saw it.
and you know
And
you're
I
good.
was like, Mommy, that's where I'm going. I'm going there to eat. I know them. I know the food. I know what they serve.
Yeah,
I'm going in and I want to eat their food.
yeah,
So but those things were built over time, right? It
yeah,
was
yeah.
consistency.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't a walk
Intentionality.
in the park. Yeah, it
Mm-hmm,
was very intentional.
mm-hmm.
So on that note, I really do want to thank you for taking the time out to talk to us,
Of course.
and to let us know how you've been able to grow Loud
Mm-hmm,
Shawarma and
mm-hmm,
Now
mm-hmm.
SOS app. I love the Now SOS app, and now that I even know the story behind it,
Mm-hmm.
it resonates more. And I think that's something. I'll give you this free marketing tip. I think that's something you should sell
Mm-hmm.
because that story connects emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
and emotions is what sells a lot in marketing. So try and, I don't know how you package that and sell it, but I know how you package it and sell it, but you have to reach out to me and we'll talk
Chineke
about
me.
that.
Okay.
But that being said, the Loud Shawarma, I can't wait to come to the DMV area. I know once I come through, I'm going to try it out. I know my
Uh-huh.
sister is in Atlanta, and you
Mm-hmm.
shipped it to her. It got to
Mm-hmm.
her and she
Mm-hmm.
loved it. So, I know you're doing really good things, big things. And, I pray for the best for both businesses.
Amen.
And I hope that when we reconnect in the future, God willing,
I
you've
will.
blown. and you'll be able to give me $1 million to help with your marketing, right?
Hey, yes, yes, yes. From a
Clock
mom to
it.
God's
I'm
ears.
using that what people
Yo,
say. Clock
what is
it.
that though? What is that? I see it and I
Clock
just
it.
move past it. Yeah. Key needs to
Oh
more
my
clock it.
goodness. Those Cozy, don't say that because now you're showing your age. I'm not on that note, I'm going to end this conversation because now you're showing your age. Clock it.
What
I
does
think
that mean?
I'm not. Do you know what? Let me be honest because I'm
You
saying
don't
you're
know what
showing
it
your
is
age.
either.
I don't know what it is. I just know anytime you talk and it makes sense. People say clock
Clock
it,
it.
and me too. I'm like
Oh,
clock it. So I
well,
think
clock it
anytime you
a
say
million
stuff and
dollars.
it's clock it, $1 million, clock it. Yes, let's clock it. But it was really nice talking to you today. Thank you. I had an amazing time,
Same
and
here.
you know, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel.
You learn a lot.
Scandals, yeah,
You're my friend and
scandals.
we chit chat, but every time I see a session, I have to listen. I have learned a lot. And I tell my team,
Thank
what
you.
did you learn today? And they're just like, oh my God, we know that's your friend. I'm like, yeah.
well, I'm glad I'm helping out there. I'm putting some message out there. So subscribe to my channel, and please, if you're in the DMV area, definitely stop by Loud Shawarma. And if
Please.
you're yes, and also download the Now,
SOS.
SOS app.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, may we never be in an emergency, but we just never know. The world
Yep.
is evolving, the world is changing, and
Yep.
we all need some level of protection. So
Mm-hmm.
please download it and support my dearest friend here. And I just want to say something. Ori is one of my go-to um business advisors. So she knows a thing or two about businesses. So you can reach out to her, but it's not free. Oh. If you reach out to her, I mean, I'm benefiting because she's my friend. However, if you reach out to her, she's going to bill you. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, guys. Thank you.
This was
And I'll see
fun.
you next week. And also let me know in the comments if you like this kind of conversation with entrepreneurs. I want to have more conversations with entrepreneurs to ask them what's how their marketing needs, what they need, and how they started their business and what they expect out of it in the nearest future. Also, I want to bring in a CFO to ask about budgeting and all those good things. So until the next episode, I will see y'all, and make sure you clock it. All right,
All
bye.
right, bye.